It began as a peaceful protest over the death of Freddie Gray, but it turned into an urban civil war.
I had one officer knocked out, hit in the head. He was taken to the hospital. I just checked on him. He's doing better. I had an officer have his knee on his left kneecap severely damaged. There again at shock trauma. Had two more officers down, injured fairly seriously. All are going to be okay, but sustained heavy damage in their bodies by flying debris, rocks, sticks, bottles, anything that these what appeared to be high school students in our school system did out there within the streets. As our officers proceeded to push them out of that area, they moved down to the area of North and Pincy, where them and others attacked a police car, broke out the window, stomped on it. I think you have information on that. Very concerned that I had an officer trapped in that vehicle. The officer had removed themselves and had sheltered in place in a nearby store. We were able to get resources down there to push that crowd away from that area. They ended up south at Pincy, in North Street, and you can see that they started to ransack CVS in criminal acts of vandalism and taking of property. We were able to assemble resources from out of town to get up there in a rapid manner. We took that corner back as we sustained Mondawmin Mall and made sure that it was stable. We were able to move those resources down to Pincy from a northern direction, moving southward. We then brought other resources that moved from the south northward to Pincy, and we took that intersection back. We started to push in a westbound direction as we saw more looting taking place.
Taking corners and intersections back? It's urban war beginning right here in Baltimore, and it's a bad omen for the future and for whites.
I'm disappointed in the fact that the damage has been done to these communities. This is not protesting. This is not your First Amendment rights.
The blacks are already getting a free pass with the Jewish media and officials calling the looters high school students and children, as if they don't know any better. They do. Here's a flyer circulated by the children over Twitter calling their fellow black teens to come out in droves to purge Baltimore. And the black gangs, the Bloods, Crips, and Black Guerrilla Family all came together and directed the looters away from black businesses toward those not black owned. And they didn't know any better? Come on. Chicago Rising now follows on the heels of a very well-organized social media crusade by black activists. And don't think for a minute that cops and soldiers won't start drilling together in prepping for urban war in every major city across America. Baltimore Uprising also gives Homeland Security, still in the hands of Michael Chertoff and run by Goldman Sachs former exec Jay Johnson, a new lease on life. For with Congressman Cummings claiming that the looters came from out of town, he tosses the ball right smack into Homeland Security's court.
What triggered this violence? I mean, this started out peacefully.
Well, I got to give it to the citizens of Baltimore. I was there all day, and it was very peaceful all day. Thousands of people, and then at the end, there were a few people who said, "We're gonna turn this city down. We're gonna close it down." And the next thing you know, we had a few people, mainly from out of town, to come and to start beating up on police cars and throwing all kinds of projectiles.
Once the flyers started circulating, the Baltimore black teens came out in droves like a flash mob to purge. But Homeland Security will pick up the cue of the out-of-towners that these are domestic agitators and will target their security agenda on internal threats, not foreign terrorists. The Jewish-run SPLC already has a hate map of internal threats, highlighting white Christian organizations that oppose same-sex marriage as part of Homeland Security's monitoring apparatus. Those targeted will be all who refuse their politically correct agenda. Isn't it interesting that the White House is so nonchalant about Baltimore? Obama and Holder were all over Ferguson, but why not here? Because Ferguson was spun as a white cop issue. But Baltimore, with its black mayor, black police commissioner, and largely black police force is not a white crime issue.